Okay, so I just wanted to come in and chime in with this because apparently Chrissy spoke specifically to me. I was addressing the fact that she was saying that you won't silence dark skinned black women or exclude dark skinned black women, but the truth is, channels like Divested Zealot specifically don't exclude dark skinned black women, they specifically include all black women. You know, I think that's the appropriate way to be. I mean, like, that's how I started out my channel, honestly. Sometimes the main reason why people get divided is because of divisive conversations that Chrissy encourages. You know, you encourage dark skinned black women to be divided from other black women. And you want to put dark skinned black women up on some kind of pedestal. The thing is, according to you, you consider dark skin a very dark hue. You know, you don't actually consider a lot of black women dark skin, according to your color um, video. Your video I've depicted, I've shown myself. I've shown how my mother, my own mother, who she identifies as dark skin, but you wouldn't even say she's dark skin because you say dark skin starts with Kelly Rowland, right? That means you exclude everyone lighter than Kelly Rowland. That means you exclude people like Gabrielle Union. You exclude people like Angela Bassett. You exclude people who aren't light skinned, like Rihanna, like Beyonce, like Tyra Banks, people that color. You know, those people of those complexions, you even exclude, they're not even light skinned. So you're talking about colorless light skinned women and you're talking about colors dark skinned men or whatever, one is nonsensical when we're talking about divestment and stuff because if you're not interested in dark skinned men, does it really matter that he hates his skin tone? To me, I don't really care that he hates his own skin tone. It's none of my business as long as he's not bothering me, honestly. Because, you know, sometimes you can have problems with darker skinned men in that regard. I don't want to talk about that here, though. My thing is, it's just, you know, colors men, you shouldn't be concerned about. Colors, light skinned women, they're just mammies at the end of the day. Nobody really should want to be them. Because they're sad, sad folk, okay? Especially the ones trying to entertain dark skinned black men who hate themselves. That means that she thinks that if she thinks dark skin is less than, that means she thinks she's inferior and she's deserving of something inferior, right? Because if she is colorist and she thinks she's above you, she's taking a man who looks like you and she thinks that she's a lesser person compared to other people. Like she's lesser than white people. She might think she's lesser than light skinned people too, who do not entertain self hating, dark skinned black men, and so forth. So, I mean, there's no need to be getting mad at these people. This is the thing with you. You focus on the people who have the problem and are basically defaming themselves because you can't realize they're defaming themselves. That's the whole problem with you, Chrissy, okay? I think if you really paid attention to the truth of the situation, we wouldn't have division. You know, when you do division like this, it's a problem for brown skinned black women, especially. And that's why you always have people who do not appreciate the way you try to encourage dark skinned black women to basically, you know, exclude everyone except dark skinned black women. Most black women aren't that dark. Most black women would be around Angela Bassett's color. Some would be a little lighter than that in some regions, and some are a little darker than that in other regions. Most black women are not Kelly Rowland's color, unless you're like in the deep desert of Nevada or something, maybe, you know. But those women, they're not naturally that color, and they'll tell you that. So you can't even put them in the same category. So you're basically saying that you exclude most black women. And that's what I pointed out here. I'm saying that the divisiveness isn't good for black women as a whole because your followers show a lot of hate against lighter women. And I'm not talking about light skinned women. I'm not. I'm specifically talking about personally for me. I'm not light skinned. And personally for me, I've experienced way more hate from channels like yours, especially your channel. So supporters of your channel have been way more hateful to brown skinned women like me. And guess what, sweetie? You may say that I am colorist or whatever, but I'm not the one that is specifically supporting a colorist dark skinned man who is with a colorist dark skinned man and basically trying to distract dark skinned black women from the fact that he chose her over dark skinned black women like your friend. So, I mean, I'm just saying, your friend is like my color, literally my color, Paris is. And she's with a dark skinned black man who prefers lighter skinned women like her. Um, you don't understand a lot of things, I think. When it comes to the people who are the light skinned saviors, when it comes to not the light skinned saviors, but people like Paris, for example, who are not light skinned per se, but they're definitely not dark skinned. When people admit to some of the things you're saying, they're admitting they're better than you. And they want to win some kind of breadcrumb trophy, basically. What I mean by that is specifically, they want to win some kind of small prize, basically. But it's not a true, real prize. It's just, it's just basically a prize that is supposed to be solace for the fact that they're not white. You see, and when you put this colorism idea out, the only thing you're doing is putting dark skinned women in a lower, more fragile position. One, not like it really matters because, I mean, like at the end of the day, dark skinned women, when we talk about representation and so forth, the main image is dark skinned women. It's not lighter skinned women. It's not people you can hardly tell are black. It's literally, dark skinned black women. I'd say more than brown skinned women, which is weird because most black women don't even look that way, you know. But that's my point. It's just like you try and talk about colorist people and things of that nature, but you don't even pay attention that the people who acquiesce and agree with you actually agree that you're lower, that you're less than, and that maybe on this supposed hierarchy that you guys are trying to acknowledge and think is true, maybe they have an advantage over you. And maybe life is a little bit better than you. That's all they're trying to say there when they agree that colorism exists. Personally, for me, you know, I knew about your platform in 2018, and you specifically inspired me to look at more colorism, I guess, platforms because I never knew that there were dark skinned people out there that really thought that their lives were worse than people who weren't dark skinned. And at the time, I was just thinking, how the heck would a being darker, would being darker have anything to do with success or lack of success? I mean, we see white people who are nowhere near where they should be. I mean, I live in Nevada, and out here, most people are white, and we see a lot of white beggars on the street and stuff. If colorism was such a benefit, you're saying it's a benefit for lighter skinned people. Shouldn't white people benefit the most? They don't benefit at all. That's the whole thing with you. You don't make make any sense to me. For everything that I've experienced in my life, I very well know there is no colorism because I'll see dark skinned people well above me, well more successful than me. I'll see lighter skinned people in their face in the mud, basically. You know, they're in the dirt, they're just completely fucked up. So that lets you know that clearly colorism doesn't exist. And it's not just that. One other thing before I go. We all know that people have different complexions in every race. Black people can be light skinned. I think you even admit this, right? And if you're willing to admit that black people can be light skinned, then obviously, if black people can be light skinned and there are other races who are darker, you know, Indians, Asians, Hispanics, much darker than light skinned people, then how is there such a thing as colorism? Are you saying that the dark Indian is being treated less than the light skinned black person? Really? That's what I mean. In our country, it's not about color. Color was never a thing that defined race. This is why we believe in white skinned people being black. Everybody who shares the ancestry of being black was perceived as black. I can understand that some people want to say biracial is not black. That's not the point of this conversation. I'm talking about light skinned people. And that lets you know that it's a feature issue more so than anything. People are defined by their race by features, not specifically skin tone. Skin tone doesn't really define that because there's plenty of other people of color who aren't perceived as black at all. You know, we have Mexican people who are, you know, Amerindian and Spanish ancestry. We have, you know, Chinese people, we have Filipino people, South Asian people, plenty of people with dark skin tones, much darker than actual light skinned black people. And they're never going to be seen as a black person. And any racism that would occur against the light skinned black person. You know, so that's why to me it's like, you know, when you talk about these things, it's not about like trying to think that dark skin is less than or inferior. I personally don't think that of dark skinned black women. The only negative thing I've ever thought of dark skinned people is the fact that the dark skinned men look feminine. And you know, there are certain features that are on darker skin that is uncomfortable. But other than that, I've never thought negatively of dark skinned black women or how they look. In fact, I think they look very beautiful. So, my point in this conversation is just I kind of feel like you don't pay attention. You just think, you think you're better, you're better, you're better. That's not it. Nobody is talking about lighter is better. I mean, hell, especially not me. I'm the one who, on the golden sphere side of things, I call them, I call them piss yellow. So I mean, like, I'm not the one who's doing all that, sweetie. But I mean, I haven't done that in a while actually, but I have done it in the past. But my point is that you know you are trying to say that people are trying to be colors against you just simply because they want to include all black women and we don't want to exclude black women. The majority of black women on your platform are excluded. I mean, honestly, as a black woman who isn't light skinned, I've noticed a lot of hate from people from your platform. I've noticed a lot of divisiveness from people from your platform. I'm not light skinned, but you're still hateful. Your fans are very hateful, because of the message that you send. And so that's all I'm saying here. Um, I just kind of feel like you guys need to understand that when you're saying that it's all pro dark skinned black women all the time and everything, you are saying that you put one shade over another. And if someone was pro light skinned women over and over So would that not be putting light skinned women above all other complexions of women? That would be. You understand that. But when you do it to dark skinned women, how is it not? It's the same thing, you know? And it's problematic because you just, like I said, you alienate all black women. I've noticed, like for me personally, like I said, I see plenty of colorist comments from Chrissy supporters, because they would, I guess, have an issue with being a little lighter than them or whatever, and, use those comments of like being a ghost or being looking like you're dead or whatever else. Those are very colorist statements. If someone called a dark skinned black person derogatory names for their dark skin, obviously that would be colorist. Both are colorists. You can't say that you're not colors or that your platform is not colorist when you tell dark skinned black women to exclude all other black women, which is most black women, by the way, because, like I said, is everyone who's Kelly Rowland or darker. So everyone lighter, is excluded, especially everyone Angela Bassett's color or lighter is excluded, definitely. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Have a great day. Bye, guys.